Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Hosted today by special guests Tia Edwards and Jane Hill. Filmed in front of a live studio audience in beautiful Burlington, North Carolina. Brought to you by AMP Studios, featuring the latest Alliance news and in-depth training. Now, let's hear it for your host, Tia Edwards and Jane Hill.
All right, sit down. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're trying to get unnervous people.
That's
okay.
right.
All right.
That's
so,
right.
I'm Jane, and this is my very good friend Tia.
That's right. Hey, y'all.
Mm-hmm. And we are back.
We are back, Jane.
On the Wednesday Call. Yay! So I guess that means we didn't screw it up too badly.
No, we didn't mess it up. We didn't mess it up.
That's right. Okay.
Thank God.
So apparently, when you ask people what their number one fear is, public speaking is still up there.
Mm-hmm.
So people would apparently rather get shot and die than speak in front of you people.
Right.
Not that I'm saying it's up there for me. I'm just saying it's the number one fear. Okay. All right. So I used to not be able to eat anything before I would talk in front of people because that would be gross for everyone, right?
Yeah.
And about a year later, that changed. So before I came up here, I ate a quarter of a sandwich. People.
Oh, you did?
That's called progress. Okay.
Well, I can't. Hey, Jane, I can't eat yet.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
Okay. All right. It took me
I'm
like
not
2
there.
years.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
all right.
it's a little
Ease
tough.
into
Yeah.
it.
Ease into it.
All
yeah.
right.
Because that's an unexpected surprise for everybody. All right. So as we get started today, I do just want to take a moment to say how grateful we are to not just be able to be up here to share with you and talk with you guys, but that we get to be a part of the Alliance, right? To be a part of this family.
Yes.
And I can't imagine where James and I would be at this point if we hadn't found the Alliance or if the Alliance hadn't found us. So gratitude is not, it doesn't mean it's been peaches and roses though the whole time. I'm just saying, all because you have gratitude doesn't mean everything is perfect, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely had its ups and downs because that's what life is. But that's what being part of a family is.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So at the end of the day, we are grateful that we get to do this.
Yes, we are.
That we get
yes,
to
we are.
Yes, and that we get to host, and that we get to help families.
Right.
That we get to pick up a phone and help an agent going through a rough time or who's in a home. That we get to do all this stuff, right? And that we get to give help the same way that we have received help, and that we continue to receive help.
Yes.
So just a little background on us. So James, that's my husband right there. All right.
Hey, James.
So we've been together for 14 years now, and as Andy clarified the last time, we've been married for 3. Okay. Been together for 10, because if you zoom in on him, you can see he's not yellow. All right. He's more white, like alabaster white. Okay. And my parents and my family were not happy that he was not Korean. I'm Korean, okay? And he so very patiently and sweetly waited until my parents were okay. Basically, my mom verbatim said, "Your eggs are getting so old. Just get married." So here we are. All right, okay. So that's right. All right. So we both got our. He found insurance, and I thought he was crazy. I was like, well, this is the end, and it was so many conversations. And he said, no, we can make money doing this. So we both got our license. We both sold insurance. But he said from day one, I'm going to hire people. And I said, I don't care. And he said, don't feel bad for him, okay? All right. And maybe a little. All right. But he said we can help ourselves and we can help other people.
That's right.
And I looked at him and I said, what is wrong with you? We need to make money. I thought you were going to grow out of this helping people thing, right? I thought it was going to be a phase or something. And I was like, we need to make money, right? They're taking away stuff. Like, we need to make money. And it's crazy because we realized if you chase after money, right, then we don't get it if we chase after it, right? But if you help people, then you do get it.
That's right.
And if you have trouble believing that, you need to open a book and read Think and Grow Rich, you know. But I'm very grateful that he was not as short-sighted as I was, and that he's always seen the bigger picture. He's always had the heart to serve. So thank you, sweetie. All right.
Aww.
So I get to introduce this incredibly hearted woman that is standing next to me here, who's becoming a very good friend. And the crazy thing is, when we did come here, like, I just want to make money. I mean, I don't know why people kept talking about relationships, and like, I was like, what does that have to do with making some money, you know? But that's the crazy thing about the Alliance. In being here, like, we have developed some of the most incredible relationships, you know, and we have traveled everywhere and created memories, and we're gonna get to go to some more places. That's right. But if you guys have met Tia and her husband, Terry, like, they just have that servant leadership heart, like, always willing at the drop of a hat to do anything to help, to serve, to reach out. So go ahead, Miss Tia.
Well, thank you, Jane. Thank you, Jane. Hey, everybody. Oh my God, like, yes, I am always fired up, so I'm gonna say it again. I am fired up right now to be at the home with y'all. Like, Jane, thank you so much. Like, I'm just excited right now. Like, Andy and Jane, thank y'all so much for believing in myself and believing in Terry, and just for giving me the opportunity to be up here and to be up here with my good friend Jane. I really appreciate y'all, and I really hope y'all are enjoying y'allself. And to Terry, I know y'all used to him being up here on the front, and you know, he's my best friend, my husband, like, everything to me. He means he supports me a whole lot. And the only reason why he's not here today, y'all, Taylor, she's 3, our baby. She has like her Thanksgiving luncheon at her school today. So I said, well, Terry, look, I'm going to serve our family, our Alliance family. Do you mind going to help out with Taylor, you know, on that end? He was like, yeah, you go for it. I got Taylor. So I'm just excited about being here. Terry and I, we've been here going on 4 years. Coming up in April, it'll be 4 years for us. And how do we get here? We're just old country people back eastern part of North Carolina. Really, we're right from the country, nothing but woods surrounding our house. I was born and raised in a home with both of my parents and my older brother. Terry, he came from a single parent home. And we're actually high school sweethearts. Me and Terry. Oh, ain't that sweet, right?
So cute.
But y'all, we ain't perfect. We ain't perfect. Let me say that right now. Terry and I, we've been together for 24 years. Went to college together, got our masters together, been married for 17 years, James. Like, we're super fired up about that. We have 4 amazing kids, starting at 13. Elijah is 13, Anaya's 12, Isaiah, the one who breaks his eyeglasses every other month, he's 10, and then we have Taylor, she is 3. So how do we find the Alliance? Terry had moved his way all the way up the corporate ladder. He used to work for different credit unions. And so 3 years ago, Terry actually got offered a CEO position with a credit union in Georgia, right?
That's fancy.
You know, we were excited about that. I was like, Terry, you did it. You got that dream job. You know, you got that job that you was always looking for. And so I was 7 months pregnant, Miss Jerusha, and then we had the 3 older kids. We moved them mid-school year to Georgia, y'all. So once we got there, we knew something crazy was going on, right? Because before we could get our furniture off of the truck, Mia, we had to pay them $7,000 out of our own pocket in order to get our furniture off that truck. And so basically 2 weeks before Terry was supposed to start his job, the credit union's attorney's office, James, emailed Terry. They didn't call him. They emailed him and basically said, for whatever reason, the credit union needs to take care of some things on their end. So this serves as your termination notice.
That's crazy.
Like, we never been fired or however you want to look at it from no job. And so being 7 months pregnant, and then we had the home in Kernersville here in North Carolina, and we still was leasing a home in Georgia. Wow. So Terry had to find something quick. We were doing the network marketing, but it wasn't enough to cover both homes, right? So Terry quickly went to Craigslist. He found an ad that Olga and Jason Mathis posted. Thank God for them. He got his license in 2 days. Started running business like that 3rd or 4th day, and he ain't stopped. And the reason why is because he's following Andy's system that he has already placed here. So if you are new here, have that faith, borrow our faith until you have faith in yourself, okay?
That's right.
So look, I'm fired up. Look,
we got some announcements
to do real quick.
Yes, we do.
And so look, first we got to do the trip, right?
Yes, we do.
So y'all know where we're going next year, right? And you know it's not too late to qualify, right? You got until the end of December the 31st to qualify. Y'all know that, right?
Yes.
Jerry, you know that, right? All right, so look, this is it. Yeah, Jerry about that. Jerry's new. So look, we got time to still qualify. But these are some people right here that has already qualified. And right here behind Jane, they have qualified as well. So we're going to start off with these names real quick. We got Katrina Gustin. She's actually going to Switzerland. Woo! Go Katrina. Then we have Gina Wilson. I believe she's down in Florida. Go Gina. Then we have James Alora. Alora. James Alora. That's it right there.
Right.
Then we got Nikki Ebanks down in Florida. Douglas Becker. Terry and Mike Williams. Lee Reyes. And this one right here, I had to save it for last because I skipped all over her name, right? But this lady right here, she's very dear to my heart. She started a little bit after Terry and I got started. We knew her in a network marketing business before becoming a part of the Alliance. She is a beautiful mom. She is a beautiful mom of 3 adult children. She deserves this trip. This is her second trip with the Alliance. Her first trip was Hawaii this year, and she took her daughter Anna. This trip to Paris, she's taking her son, her oldest son, John. So please, Beth Ireland, my friend, my sister, come on out there, girl. Come on out. So Beth, real quick, your name, where you from, how long you been with the Alliance? I think I told all that. But light up real quick.
Hey everybody, I'm Beth Ireland.
That's right.
I do live here in North Carolina, up in Yadkin County. I am Director Terry and Tia Edwards.
That's right. Woo!
So thankful that I found this opportunity through them. Been in since June of 2015,
That's
so
right.
3.5 years. It's been a ride. It's been so
But
much
you made
fun. Yeah.
So
I'm
Beth,
so excited.
That's awesome. So Beth, if you don't mind putting these stickers up there, and you can put your sticker wherever you want to, Beth.
That's
Today's
right.
your day, girl.
Thank
Today
you.
is your day. You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right, so while Beth is doing that, y'all know Andy is running a contest, right? The 4th quarter contest, right? Y'all know that?
Yes.
So if you're new, you still got time to win some of this money. It's going to be over $150,000 that Andy's going to be giving away at the National Convention.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
It's going to be $150,000. That's right, at the National Conference in January. So we're going to go more into detail about the conference. We cannot let that go.
No.
But right now, the 4th quarter, so far, we're going to pull up
The power.
yes.
You speak it, and it shows
It's
up.
there. So we do the 2018 agent producers. These are the rookies. Woo! So we'll do, for all of them, y'all, we'll just do the top 5. We're going to keep it real simple, okay? All right, so starting at number 5, we have Miss Jessica Phillips. Woo! And number 4, that's right, my girl, Mia Fennell. Number 3 is Jera Gonzalez. Good job, Jera. Number 2 is Christian Cameron. And then number 1 with 34,000, that's Dia Gondor. That's right.
That's right.
Okay. So next we're going to do 2018 recruiters. All right, number 5. There she go again. Miss Mia Fennell. Number 4 is Darren White. And then it's Tim Long, number 3. Number 2 is Roland Prophet. And then number 1 is Richard Smith. Good job, y'all. Now, new people, y'all still, like I said, y'all still got time to move on up. That 2018. Y'all can move me on out the way, Jerry. All right, so then we go into 2017, the agent producers. Now, what this means, y'all going to see a lot of people in the yellow, right? So
Tell
what
'em
that
what the yellow
means,
means.
I'm going to tell them. So what that means, these 2018 people, they done slammed the people in 2017, y'all. So, all right, so number 5, we're going to just start at number 5. Eric Cruz.
You are holding it up for your 2017 generation. Come on, you are holding that.
He can move up.
Yeah.
Number 4, that she got Mia Fennell.
Wait. Does that mean she wins twice?
That means she wins twice. So
2 times.
yeah, that means
times.
yes.
Deuces.
And then number 3 is Jara Gonzalez. She wins again. Then number 2, Christian Cameron again, 2018 people. Dia Gondor. Number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1. So come on, 2017 people. Y'all got time.
Yeah.
Don't let these people slam y'all. So now we're going to do the recruits for 2017. Oh, we got some more slamming going on up in here. So number 5, Alan, if I get your name wrong, please, I apologize. Number 5 is Alan Trumbach.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Woo,
I think that's right.
Number 4 is Miss Lisa Boyd. She's
That's right.
That's right, Lisa.
That's right.
Number 3, Richard done slammed the people.
Whoa.
Richard Smith is number 3, y'all. Number 2 is Kurt Denny. And then number 1 is Anthony Evans with 3.
Whoa.
Good gracious, we still got work, y'all. We still got work.
Yep.
All right, we're going to them veterans. So these are people that was here before 2017, y'all. All right, so starting with the production. Number 5 is Brent Swindell. Go, Brent and Angelica. Number 4 is James Coleman. Him and Angie Coleman. Good job, y'all. Number 3 is Eric and Bobby Belair down in Florida. Number 2 is Junior Correa. And number 1 is Mr. Sarge Wilson with $45,311. And here we go with the veterans recruit. Number 5. Here we go. Anthony's coming up, y'all. Number 5.
Okay, he ain't number 5. You can't be talking about Anthony.
I know, but I just had to let him know. Anthony, you coming up, bro?
There are rules.
He coming up. He coming up.
He is coming up.
It was right there. I like that color.
That's
So cool. All right, so number 5, we have Mr. Scott
Ducharme.
That's it. Good job, y'all.
Yep, it is.
All right, number 4. Okay.
That's my man.
James and Jane Hill. Okay. Number 3, Mike Playo. Number 2, Noel and Mike Leventovich.
Yep.
With 6. Oh my God. And then number 1.
Number 1.
Good gracious! That's Kyle Cater, and I call them his angels.
That's right.
With 11 recruits. Good God Almighty. They moving. They are moving,
Yes, they
Jane. So look, y'all, we had one.
I think they're trying to say
think about
something to all of us. I think that's what's happening.
That's what it is. All right, so look, y'all, we have one more contest going, okay? So y'all know Andy have been talking about the Phoenix contest. It started October the 1st, and it goes all the way to the end of December the 31st, y'all. Oh, I'm in the way.
Yeah.
So with the contest, we have 3 couples so far that's winning, okay? All right, did you know this, Jane?
Well, Andy said something the last time. I was confused.
Okay. So it's the top 3 couples that actually get to fly, and what they do, they get to fly out with Andy on, Andy have 2 jets. So on the Alliance Air, these couples get to fly out with Andy and go to Phoenix headquarters in Hartford, Connecticut, y'all. So right now in Lee, we still got time to catch up with these 3 people now. It's Jane and James Hill. Paul and Tamara Roberts. And then we got number 1 as Michelle and Mike Allman.
That's right.
All right? So we still got time, y'all. And the reason why, because right here,
Right. Yeah, that's the reason why.
they have, they have 3 people that already have initial paid.
Yes.
So come on up. We got some more. See? Yeah, we can get on up in there, y'all.
Mr. Marvin Osuna?
Yeah, Marvin.
I see you.
That's right. That's right. So y'all,
All right.
we're fired up right now.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. So today, we're talking about what do we do, and also how to copy all you want, y'all.
All of it.
All you want. How to copy it all, and then we're going to talk about BAM a little bit. We got a special guest coming in here later on. So what do we do, right? I'm about to tell you something that may sound a little elementary to some. It may sound like we may be a little bit out of our mind, or we can't think for ourselves, or as they say, we're drinking that Kool-Aid. We are. Or we've been brainwashed. Or how about this? You ever heard this one? Andy Albright ain't Jesus. But we know he ain't Jesus. We know that.
Thank you for the bulletin, though.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
But what do we do? So we actually, I forgot it. But anyway, so what do? We follow and we live by the playbook, y'all. You see, great sports teams has a strategy, and so do we. It doesn't matter how many good players on the team, or who's the superstars on the team. It doesn't matter none of that. Because if they're not all on the same page, there's going to be a huge disaster on that football field. And it's going to be a huge disaster with that team, okay? So what they have to do is minimize the confusion, the penalties. There has to be unity, okay? Every great team has to have a playbook. And a playbook starts with the unity. I'm trying to get my scarf on.
It's good.
I'm about to pull it off. So it starts. We, the Alliance, should do our best to follow and live by the playbook, okay? So what is the playbook? The playbook is basically a guide that we should all be singing the same song and on the same beat. So it starts with, if I can go back, I'm gonna calm down a little bit, calm down. If I can go back a little bit, why? What's the why? Why did Andy and Jane start the Alliance? And I look and I listen to Andy, I watch his videos, I listen to him all the time. It's all about that heart. It's all about him loving others. It's all about him wanting to see all of us win, all of us be successful. It's not just about their family, because they got it. I mean, oh my God. But it's not just about what they want for their family. It's also about what we want for our family and what our family don't have.
Right.
I remember Terry telling me the first time he came to a TWC, and he sat down with Andy one-on-one in Andy's office. And he was like, Andy, why do you keep doing this? You know, Terry was fired up. He was all in with the Alliance and everything. He was like, Andy, why do you keep doing this? You have it all. You got the cars. You got the houses. Your kids can go wherever they want to go as far as school. He was like, Terry, because your kids, they don't. And so that's what me and Jane want for y'all's family. That's what they want for all of our family, not just Terry and I, okay? So they want us to win. And it starts with, why do we exist? All right? Why do we exist? It's because of Andy's pie. I know Thanksgiving is coming up, y'all. We ain't talking about your mama's pie. We ain't talking about your grandma's pie. My grandma's going to cook a good pumpkin pie, but I ain't talking about her pie right now, y'all. I am talking about prosperity. P is prosperity. Everybody here has the same opportunity, regardless of your color, your height, your size, whatever. We all have the same opportunity here. Thank God for that. Thank God for that. And it's that financial freedom, y'all. Like Andy and Jane has, like Andy and Jane has set a great example for us to follow. Like they have the multiple homes, the beach home, the home in Union Ridge. They have the cars, and they're not just regular cars. They're the top-notch, beautiful cars, Beth. They have the two jets, not one, but they have the two jets. And just to see them raising their kids, you know, and having their kids having the opportunity to go to the schools of their own choice, not what mommy and daddy's pocket can afford. Oh my God. Woo, that right there. Inspiration. I is for inspiration. Traveling together, enjoying God's beautiful creation, y'all. Now, God put all this stuff on this world, and how is it that we just want to stay in High Point? Or how is it that we just want to stay in Kernersville or Burleson? There's too much out here for us to see that God Himself created for us to see. And because of the Alliance, we get to travel and see these places. Like Terry and I, so far, we've been here a little over 3 years. We've already been on 4 trips, thank God, to the Alliance. We've been to Bahamas. We've been to Banff, Canada. If you don't know what this place is, look it up. I had never heard of Banff, Canada before the Alliance. And then, like, to hear Jane, say it, Jane. What do we say? In the castle! Y'all, we stayed. A real castle. We stayed in the castle. Banff is Banff, and that's in Canada. Look it up. And then we got the day to spend a day in Lake Louise. Some of them just stayed there some extra days. Did y'all stay extra days?
We did stay.
Oh, that's okay. So they got that extension.
We missed you.
Yeah, we missed y'all too. So, and then last year we went on the Mediterranean cruise, just hanging out. And then this year we went to Hawaii. Next year, We've already qualified. We're going to Paris, Appetite. And there is still space for y'all to come. Get out there and work. Get out there and fight so y'all names can get up here and go and enjoy.
A croissant in Paris.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Of all the places.
Right.
That's
Right.
what we got to do it.
And get on that Appetite. Oh, I got to go there. And then E is for eternity. Like, we know that after we leave this earthly ground, there is another place. I'm going to heaven. That we are all going to be going. I know I'm going to heaven. Okay, I'm going. And I want to hear him say, well done, my good and faithful servants. When I get there, Stephanie, that's what I want to hear him say. So right now, while I'm here on earth, what kind of legacy am I going to leave behind? What are my friends and my family and my kids, what are they going to be saying about me after I have left here? So that's what eternity is all about. So then, going back to the playbook, is how do we behave? We done talked about why do we exist. We exist for the pie, prosperity, inspiration, and eternity. Now, how do we behave? How do we behave as far as being a part of the alliance? And it's not just when you're in this building, but how do you behave when you get home as well? How do you behave when you're with your friends? All right, so the first one is E, is excellence, not E, but just excellence. So we pledge to surpass ordinary expectations with destination and superior quality. So y'all, we are just vowing to step it up, to step our standards up for ourselves, for our families, showing our kids how to act and how to behave when we're out. Number 2 is service. We guarantee customer satisfaction by providing assurance that every associate will go the extra mile. Y'all, we just here to serve. Not just the families. Yes, we want to get out there and serve the families, but I want to serve you. Jerry, I want to serve you. I want to serve everybody. So that's what we're here for, to serve. And don't just be serving just to be doing something to get attention. No, serve with your heart. Serve with that love. All right, so number 3 is integrity. We mandate that everything we do to be ethical, honest, and transparent. Integrity is huge here. Especially we get a lot of families' personal information, their bank accounts, their socials, their address, telephone. This stuff is very important to them, you know? So how is it like if we was to make a mistake and forget to get a signature by a client and we didn't notice until we got back home like 45 minutes from the house? What is your integrity? What are you going to do? Are you going to take that application back to that family house and have that client to sign? Or are you going to be like, ain't nobody looking. My husband at work, kids at school, I'll just sign it.
We need some Jiminy Cricket here.
What? We work with integrity here. We don't cheat the system. You never know how you're going to get caught. Like I tell my kids, you're going to get caught when you do something wrong. So we always work with integrity here. If you have an application, yes, take it back to that family. And, of course, let them sign it. 4, accountability. Calm down. We stand. I'm so good, Stephen. I'm so glad Stephen Davis came out with that. Where was it? At one of the conventions, he said at the end, he was like, breathe, dog. And so I took on, calm down. Just calm down, girl. Accountability. We stand by our performance and openly accept responsibility for our actions and reactions. So just own up to what you do. That's all what accountability is. Respect. Number 5 is respect. We promote an environment where every associate is courteous, helpful, and diversity is valued. Like at our hotspots, it is so huge to have respect for other people, y'all. There's this girl, she comes to our hotspot, she don't mind me saying it, and she's like, Tia, let me tell you what keeps me at y'all hotspot, or keep me at the hotspot. It's that love. Y'all are just really, y'all welcome me regardless of my background. Y'all welcome me regardless of how I look, and that's what I love, and that's what has been keeping me here at our hotspot. So we should be getting that testimony at every single hotspot, regardless if you're in New York, down in Florida, California, North Carolina. I don't care where you at. We should be getting the same information at every single hotspot, okay? So number 6 is compassion. We display urgency when dealing with customer distress and advocate empathy for our fellow associates. So, y'all, we just working with, this is a people's business, right? And I remember So we got to have that empathy. We got to show our love and that we care about people, right? And I remember hearing Paul Roberts talk about one time at one of their hot spots. After their night owl, he still sat down with one of his agents, just talking her through things, helping her clear her mind, just hearing her out. And that's sometimes what we have to do, just show that compassion side. Don't be all hard all the time. Show that compassion side of you. Pull it on out. Show that heart. Number 7, community. We foster a culture of integration and shared emotional connection among our associates. So, y'all, we should be just striving to be on the same page, striving to have that unity, speaking that same language that Andy Albright speak. And what is it that his mission? His mission is to kill poverty in our homes and as well as in our community.
That's right.
So, y'all, we have to do the same thing, speak that same language that Andy is speaking. Number 8 is gratitude. We remember where we come from.
Yeah.
And take the time to appreciate the gifts that have been bestowed upon us. So I remember at an Instant Thunder, I love talking about stuff. So I remember at an Instant Thunder, Andy had Jasmine Lightbourne on stage. And she was up there sharing her story, like about how her parents and her siblings used to stay on her grandma's back porch. That porch was very small, the way she talked about it, but it was the whole family on her grandma's back porch. And Andy told her, Jasmine, don't stop talking about it. Remember where you come from. So when I hear that, I remember having deep depression. I will not forget where I come from. And the reason why you don't forget where you come from, it's going to remind you of where you don't want to go back to. So that's why it's very important that we remember the hard times, because we don't want to go back there, Nick, okay? So why do we exist? We exist for the pie. How do we behave? We behave with excellence, service, integrity, accountability, respect, compassion, and gratitude. All right, Jane?
That's right.
All right. So what do we do? What do we do here at the Alliance? There is one thing that we do here, y'all. We sell, we recruit, and we build here.
Yep.
Can y'all help me with that? We sell, we recruit, and we build. Now, we don't sell, sometimes people are like, well, what do I have to recruit? This is what we do here. We sell, we recruit, and we build here. It's not like we're going to just pick one. We're not going to sell or just recruit or we're going to just build. We're going to just do it all together, y'all. It's just like playing football. We got the offense, we got the defense, and then we got that special team.
That's right.
I got kids that play football, y'all. That's the only way I know that. But yeah, so it's like by leaving one of those out, the team won't work right. It won't mesh right. So we have to do the one thing that we do, y'all. And so when we're selling, why are we selling? We're selling to meet our immediate needs, to cover our own bills. And not only that, because we're going to be recruiting and building, y'all, it's also being able to fund our business.
Yep.
It's like attending the events that we're going to be talking about in a little bit, being a part of the President's Club, running ads, purchasing leads for yourself and purchasing leads for your agents, and just being able to travel, because you're not going to just stick in one location when you're recruiting, Mia, but you're going to be recruiting all over. So you're going to, at some point, want to go out and see the people that you're recruiting. So really, guys, if we're not doing all three, we're really shortchanging the opportunity here. We're not putting forth our full effort when we're not putting in the sales, when we're not doing the recruiting, and when we're not doing the building. The second part of what we do the 8 steps. We follow the 8 steps to be successful here. Andy says, I don't know how to lift my book, but Andy says if we follow those 8 steps, week in, week out, we're going to make at least 6 figures with this company. And a lot of times he says, even if you're not even with the Alliance, you're going to learn something by reading the 8 steps and following it all through.
That's right.
So the first step is the personal use. Believe in what you're selling and buy what you're selling. It's like, how are we going to go out to these homes and we trying to write them a policy, and then they be like, Well, Miss Tia, what type of policy do you have? Oh, we can't even answer. We can't share with them what we got ourselves, Jane. So it's good that we be our first customer, y'all. So, and then the benefits, being able to talk about the benefits of having your own policy. Like with Foresters. Foresters is a great example, how they sponsor local events. Like earlier this year, Tara and I took Taylor and Isaiah to see Paw Patrol. And not only that, we saw some staff there. And then we also saw one of Tara's clients there. She had her grandkids there. Aww. So just to see the smile on their face, y'all, made a huge difference. And then step 2 is work. Strong work ethic on both. Have strong work ethics on both sides of the activity equation. So that is the selling and the recruiting. And guys, it's very important that we keep track of what we're doing so that we can show our upline if we're messing up or if we're not understanding something, we can go back to that activity book. Yep. Stay consistent and committed to the work, and it will pay off. Step 3, listen to the CDs, the MP3s, watch the videos. If you are not on Alliance, this is a little plug, if you're not on Alliance Media, download it after you leave out of here. Don't do it right now. But if you're at home, get another, electronic and download it because you want to go back and watch some videos. You want to go back and listen to Annie, and that's another great way to train. And listen to the webinars. Watch the webinars. Whenever Andy does the live webinars on recruiting and things of that nature, jump on if you can. Number 4, step 4 is read. Use Andy on page 85 to about 88, somewhere in that range. Andy has his own book list of what we can be reading. It's not like we have to guess on what to read. Open up the 8 Steps to Success book and you will find a list. Try to read at least 15 minutes every night. I remember hearing Diane Lampy say, if you could just tear one page out and keep reading that one page. Like the book list talks about relationships. You can find something in there on mindset, on how to sell, on how to build a business, on how to build your own team. So go back in that book. We should be reading it on a continual basis anyway, but go back in that book and pick you out something to read if you're not reading now. Step 5 is attend all meetings. This is priority over writing business and recruiting agents. So we don't miss the hot spots. We can't make them all, but we don't miss them all. We don't, for those that's local, we don't miss the TWCs if we can't help it. The activity calls. Y'all know Andy, he is the owner of the company, y'all. And we get to, I think it's amazing, we get to go and sit in his office while he is hosting this call. A lot of CEOs ain't gonna name me one that's gonna actually, just one, that's gonna pull all of us, over 40 people in his office, and allow him to listen in. Allow us to listen in while he's doing the call. You're not gonna find that nowhere. No. You really ain't. Instant thunders are very important. Those are 2 more intimate trainings for about 300 agents in between the conferences. And then we have 2 big conferences twice a year. Write this down because you're gonna want to come. You don't want to miss it. The production is gonna be crazy. Yeah. It's January. It's called National Convention. It's January the 24th through the 27th. Get your tickets. Yeah. Go to this website, AllianceNationalConvention.com. Get your tickets. Now, right now, I think they still have 2 tickets available. They have a base ticket for $189 on it. So what the $189 does is gives you general admission, and then on Saturday evening, right? We get to dress up. That's your formal attire. So start looking, girl. You get the good, nice and fancy. So you get to go to the banquet, okay? That's for $189. And then they also have a second ticket, Lisa, for $399. The difference is you get all, the admissions. But the other difference is that you get 6 meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, things of that nature.
So you don't get hangry.
No, right. Right. No, angry.
And the association.
The association is very huge because this is a meal ticket. So it's I've been a part of a network marketing business, right? And I've seen where people that think they're really making that big money, they don't even want to give you a chance to even talk to you. They don't even want to speak. They don't want to shake your hand, Nick. But here at the Alliance, it's totally different. You can actually go and sit at the table with Noel and Mike Leventovich. You can ask a lot of these leaders, they don't even get to eat. They don't. Do you, Jay? Do you get to eat?
I get to eat.
A lot of them really, like seriously, a lot of them. You supposed to say no.
Oh, no, I don't. Leave me alone.
But a lot of them really don't get to eat because you get to sit at the table with them and ask all the questions that you want. So that's why it's really good to get a meal ticket. And then also you get like a free audio of the whole weekend too. I love it. And they may still go up there, get your tickets, because I don't know, but it may, like they used to have where you can actually make payments on these tickets. It may still be out there, so get out there and get your ticket today. After this, TWC. All right. Number 6, step 6 is be teachable. Learn the system. Be open to coaching. We don't care if you're brand spanking new, meaning you just got your license, you don't know what to do, all the way to those that have been in insurance, but they just came to be a part of the Alliance. It doesn't matter. Be teachable. Like Andy keeps everything very simple. So whatever you've learned in other businesses, erase that and come fresh and come new, come open, because you have a lot of people that's here to support and train you. All right, number 7, be accountable. This applies in all areas, especially your financial obligation. So basically, once again, the accountability, take ownership for your actions. Step 8 is communicate. Communicate with a proper, positive mental attitude. So basically, ignore the negativity. Don't bring the negativity out of your mouth. And the best way to do that is going back to listening and to reading and getting around. The association will totally help with that. So we talked about the 8 steps, Jane. What we do, we sell, we recruit, and we build.
Yes, we do.
All right, so next we're going to say, what must we do? What must we do? And when y'all get back, get your own playbook and just go over it. But this is when you're going to duplicate, associate, and edify. So when we duplicate, Jane will go more into detail about the copying, but this is when you get to copy, and it's okay to copy. I know in college they don't want you to copy, but here at the Alliance, thank God, we get to copy here, y'all. Number 2 is the association. The power of association here is so important. Like I'm starting to like really build some really good friendships here is because of the trips, Andy and Jane. I'm just really enjoying myself, Jane. So get around people. You too?
Me too.
Oh, yeah. Number 3 is edification. And that's basically to build people up, build one another up. Tim Gold says we should edify the person's character and not just their work. That was so good. So build up. When you're edifying, when you're talking about people, don't just talk about, you know, oh, she can sell some business, honey. Oh, who was it, Kyle? Oh, he is a recruiting machine. No, who is Kyle? No, who is Jane Hill? Get to know these people so that we can edify them up. And the last thing I was going to talk about is what is important right now. Not now, James, but what's important right now. So the thing that's important right now is our hot spots. That's important right now, regardless of where you're located at. Know how to run the hot spots. Introduce your guests to the speakers. That's very important. Welcome our guests. They take that one step in. You know, welcome them. Shake their hands, Stephanie. Or I'm a hugger. I like to give hugs out. I do, Jane.
I know you do.
Be excited. Be excited to be at the hot spot. Have that music bumping. You know, be very excited to be there, but not too loud where you can't hear each other talk. But have some nice music going. Be in there saying, amen. That's right. Well, back that truck up. All that stuff. And start on time. 7:03. Start 7:03. Start on time. it was a few weeks ago. No, probably about a month ago. Noelle Leventovich had came to Greensboro Hotspot, y'all, and the time had got all the way to 7:05. She's like, "You ready? You ready?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, 7:03. I was like, "Whoop, shoot, oh, time to wrap it up. Let's go. Time to wrap it up. Let's go." So make sure we're starting on time, y'all. So right now, I want to pass it over to my wonderful friend that I'm starting to learn and love more and more, her and her husband. She helps me out so much personally. She coaches me. One time she was like, "Tia, can you just stop? Like when you and Terry." She's like, "This is what I like about it. This is a good thing. I want to get better, right?" So she's helping me to get better. This is nothing like bad, Jane, I promise you. So she was like, "Tia, when you're on stage, can you stop like balling your fist up?" She was like, "It looks like you about to punch Terry in the face." I said, "Dang, Jane, I be so nervous. I didn't even realize, that I do that." But Jane, thank you for being that. I need that. Like, I want to get better. I don't want to stay the same, Tia. So Jane, seriously, thank you for being that person that can come to me and say, "Tia, stop that foolery." So I love you, Jane.
And we're doing a hug. We're doing a hug. All right. I feel like I should have gone after to you.
No.
Yeah, it is crazy. I just learned something new while we were back there waiting. The song was playing and it was saying, "Turn down for what?" Right? And they kept saying it. I was like, I don't understand what that means. Tia explained it to me, like, why would it be necessary to turn down the music, right? That's what it means. No. No.
Turn your energy down.
All right, okay, we'll learn more later.
Yes, it's appropriate. Turn the hype down. That's what I said.
Turn the hype down.
Yeah. Turn down for what? Why would you do that?
What? Why would you turn?
Turn the hype.
Okay, no, we gotta do this later.
Yeah.
I need a process. All right. Look at this. This is my first time using this marker. When did we get these markers? When did we get these markers? All right. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the duplicate part. And one of the things Andy wanted us to talk about is copy all you want, right?
That's right.
So I guess the question or the thought I had when Andy asked us to talk about it is we're going to try to answer why do we copy and why wouldn't we copy, right? All we want. And please, we're not saying that we have perfected this in any way, shape, or form, all right? We're in our own work in progress with you, okay? So why wouldn't we copy? So have any of you ever felt like this? And if you haven't, good for you. All right, but have any of you ever felt like I'm giving it everything I have, and what more do you freaking want from me? And at the same time, you know you have more to give.
That's right.
You ever feel like that?
Yep.
Okay. Do you remember? Because I forget sometimes. I feel like I have the memory of a goldfish sometimes. You know how they swim over here? Oh, this is new, right? Oh, this is new. Like, that's how I feel sometimes, okay? Because I remember, and I forget so often, that there was a point in our life, right, that I was having panic attacks and anxiety and just crying and just looking for a way out of the situation that we were in. You know, Andy says looking for a shot, right? Looking for an opportunity, because you know that no 9 to 5 was going to get you out of the place that you were at.
Right.
It just was not going to happen. So there had to be something different that had to happen.
Yes.
And then you find it, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, it becomes this feeling of obligation that poisons the opportunity that we have, right? Because it becomes not like you have to copy and I'm wagging my finger at you, you know?
Right.
But it becomes, why wouldn't we copy?
That's right.
Right?
Tell it, Jane.
Because it turns into, like, it goes from I'm going to make dials, I'm going to help people, like, I'm going to be able to serve, I'm going to be able to pay our bills, like, they're going to stop taking away our stuff, right? It goes from that to I have to make dials. Like, I have to run appointments again. I have to talk to this person. I have to do the phone script for the 98,758th time. Okay. And it's not an overnight feeling, right? It's a very gradual, very slow, like decline. And I felt like really slowly, like when I finally kind of sat, and it was this moment where I realized it, but I felt like this, I started to sound or feel like an entitled, ungrateful brat. And brat is the word I'm going to use, okay?
Thank you.
So copying is not an obligation, right? It is that we are in a company and a country where we have the opportunity, where we get to
That's right.
do these things.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
So, so that's part of like why we would copy, right?
Yes.
Because I think that sometimes things go well. Things are not going to go well all the time.
No.
If this is newsflash, I'm sorry, I'm the one to break it to you, but things are not going to go well all the time, right? And so sometimes when things don't go well in our relationships or in our job or in whatever, we start to think about the time that, or how it could be different. You know, the whole grass is greener, right?
Yeah.
And we start to think, like when things are bad here, like, oh, I remember how great it was at my other job. Do you? Do you really? Remember how great it was at that other job, you know? I want to think about that a little bit more, right? It's like we only remember like maybe the good thing, but we don't remember all the bad because our mindset is just so messed up where we're at. Okay, so one of the reasons why we should copy is because we all have an internal thermostat. We all have a governor. We all have a blueprint, okay? And when we start to copy, we don't think about it as much, so we can break through our own set thermostat. We can change our blueprint because we're not thinking about it so much, right?
Yes.
And because if we think about it, or if we don't copy, then what we'll end up doing is we'll end up stopping ourselves from going to our next level because that's not comfortable. And so I'm going to give you an example, all right? So this was October of 2016. And if you were around, and if you were on this call, this was Sunday night, a Sunday night in October, and Andy did a call. And he had several of us on this conference call, and he was calling people out. He was calling people out, okay? And he was asking people, that's what I'm going to call it. I don't think he would call it that, but I'm going to call it that. And he was asking people, do you know how much you did? This is 2016, right? So he was asking people, do you know what you did in 2015 and 2014? And everyone he was asking, they were like, no, maybe, kind of. And I was just like, James and I were sitting there, and I was just like, I know what he's doing, right? I was so irritated because I knew what he was doing, right? And everyone he was talking to, he was like, well, and I'm making up some numbers, but he said, well, in 2000, think about this, in 2014, you did 230,000, and in 2015, you did 180,000. So like a year later, you did less, right? So he got to me. He said, Jane, do you know what you did? I'm like, yes, I know what I did, 2014 and 2015. Thank you very much. Because I was like, I don't need him to say it. Trying to be, it was, you know. Anyways, so, and he's like, well, I'm going to read it anyways. I was like, I'm sure you are, you know. And so in 2014, I did 240,000 issue paid. And in 2015, I did like 190,000 issue paid. And so the point that he was trying to make, right, was that people, like how did we, a year later, our skill level's higher, right? We've run into more scenarios.
Right.
We've probably gotten promotions. We did get promotions, right? How is it that we sold less insurance, knowing more, than we did knowing less? And it's because, and I realized it later, and I talked to Paul Minichino about this, Paul, okay? And he was like, yeah, I saw you doing that. I'm like, well, why didn't you say something when you saw it happen? You know, sorry, Paul. But it's because we have these levels, right? And so we were still actually making the same amount of money, selling less, because we got the promotions. And it was such a gradual, like every single week, maybe like 1 appointment less or 2 appointments less, till you were running like 2/3 of what you used to do, and you didn't think about it. It wasn't a conscious decision, right? But this blueprint, this thermostat, this governor in our brain was like slowly holding you back, so you would stay at the same place that you were at,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
So when we copy, though, if we keep copying the exact way that we should be doing,
Yes.
then despite ourselves, we will actually exceed past to the next level. So then he announced a SEAL team, $20,000 is she paid every single month. So what do we all do?
Yeah.
We all started doing $20,000
That's
again,
right,
you know?
20,000.
And except for Michelle Alleman. Michelle, I know Mike says you're not a cyborg, but he says it a lot. But he swears. But I saw that movie, Stepford Wives, and that movie was confusing. Okay, were they wives? Were they women? Were they robots? I was very confused. If anyone understands how that movie works too, you tell me at the end. Okay, but Michelle was the only one who she was doing 30,000.
Yeah.
28,000, 40,000,
Right.
like whatever number she was doing. And when they announced SEAL team, guess what she did? Went down to 20,000. Because that was like the level, the thermostat.
Yeah.
And she didn't even realize she was doing it either. And
That's
Andy
good,
asked
Jane.
her one time, he was like, so what did you do? She's like, I just realized I would write 5,000 and just stop. And then she's like, as soon as she realized it, guess what she did? Went back, yeah, she
Right,
fixed
went
it. She
back
went
up.
back to writing 30,000,
Right.
35,000, however, good. Right? But if we're purposely copying, like if we're intentional about duplicating,
Yes.
then like why did we back off? Because our backs weren't up against the wall anymore, right? Our bills weren't coming in color anymore. That's why we, slowly back off, but we just don't realize that we're doing it. That's a real thing, people. You laugh like your bills never came in color. Good for you. All right. But and if you're brand new and you are like, okay, great, so you guys went back to doing 20,000. That's good. Good for you. Like I feel you. But you got to start where you are.
That's right.
So if you've been running 4 appointments a week, then maybe your overarching is to get to 20 appointments, right? But how you get there is, guess what you do this week? You run 6, right? You got to raise your thermometer like to where it needs to be. But if you I've been told that if you turn on your car and you just shift right away without giving your car a chance to do anything, like it's bad for the engine or something. We're supposed to let it warm up or
Yes.
I don't know, something with cars, right?
That's what
But
they say.
that's what we have to do too. Like we have to build ourselves up. So if you're doing 4 right now, then you start to do 6. Because you can believe that you can get to 6. Even your blueprint will let you get to 6. And as you start to do it, guess what you can do the next week? Then you can get to 8. And maybe you
right.
set a goal for 8 and you hit 7. But guess what? That's more than you were doing before.
Yes.
Right? And so we build to where we want to go. Okay? All
It
right.
is.
So what was one of the points of what I think SEAL Team was, right? Is, whatever. It's to try to change our mindset. Andy is trying to, when he's trying to get us to copy, he's trying to get us to change our mindset, because what really separates people who have money from people who don't have money is your mindset. It's the way that we think. And that is why broke people will raise broke children. And why middle-class people will raise middle-class children. And why wealthy people will raise wealthy children.
Yes.
It doesn't have to do with the money that they're passing or not passing. Because how many of you have heard of the lottery winner, or practically
Yes.
every lottery winner,
Yep.
who has won millions of dollars, and they have all this money, and they are more broke
Yep.
than before they got the money.
That's right, Jane.
Because their mindset was not ready to handle it. And I know we all think, well, if I won that lottery, I wouldn't have done. I know, I think that too. All right, but it's the mindset. It's the way that we think about it, right? And that's what Andy is trying to do. He's trying to change the way that we think, because people think that most of our problems would be solved if we had money, and I think a lot of them would be, right? Andy says it all the time. If you threw $10,000 at 99% of your problems, they would probably go away, and they probably would, right? But it's not that problem will go away, but we have different problems, right? As we get older, as the money grows. Andy has different problems than the problems that we have,
Yes.
right? And if our mindset doesn't grow with our income, then our income won't grow.
Good.
That is why,
That's good.
right? That is why, Miss Mia, the same things that we thought were the end of the world when we were a teenager, not the end of the world now.
Right.
No, it's not.
And if they are, reevaluate. Because they should not be, okay? It's like if the same things that were the end of the world when you were 5 are still the end of the world now. That is This is not good. Okay, we're not Benjamin Button, all right? We need to progress the other way, all right? So, but this is the thing. What he's trying to change is, it's the way that we think. And a lot of times, even if you don't feel like smiling, guess what happens if you smile?
That's right.
You start to feel like it, right? So if your actions start to change, then your mindset's going to start to change too, right?
Yeah.
So broke people think in terms of time. Wealthy people think in terms of value. And so whether you're doing this or any endeavor, okay, people think, oh, I put 30 hours here. I studied for that test. I did this, and I haven't made any money yet. You know, this doesn't work. Like, broke people are thinking in terms of the time that they put in. Wealthy people are thinking, so I haven't been paid because I haven't provided any value yet. Like, that would be the difference, you know. Bill Gates makes millions of dollars.
Yes.
Millions of dollars, right? And we still try to put it in terms of time. And we say things like he makes $2,000 a year, right? Or, I'm sorry, he makes $2,000 an hour or $2,000 a minute or whatever it is, right? We still try to break it down in terms of time. But if you make $40 an hour, but you stay at home for 10 hours, are you going to make $400?
No.
No, because we haven't provided the value during that time.
Yeah.
Right? And so the reason why Andy and the leaders get paid for the amount of money that they do is because of the amount of value that they're providing.
That's right.
Right? And I know it sucks when you drive out to a home, and I know it took you an hour or 20 minutes or whatever it took, right? I know, all right? And then you get there and you don't help them, and you're driving back or you're driving to your next appointment or whatever it is that you're doing, and you didn't make any money. Like, I get that, but that's because we didn't provide any value. Right? So it's just a different way of looking at it. But that's why they're making the millions and the billions of dollars that they're making, because of the amount of value that they're providing. Okay.
Yes, it
so,
is.
right. Okay. I'm also going to try to slow down too. I got responses from the last TWC that I sounded like Speedy Gonzalez. So I'm going to try to slow down. All right. But you know, it's the value. Like, it's not like, so, you know, you'll hear stories about Paul Roberts and other people taking time to talk to people's kids.
Yeah.
Their teenage kids, right? It's not like after he talked to their kids that he got paid $400 an hour for that, like a therapist or something, right? But it's because of the overall value that he provides. That's why, again, the money is there, right? And if you talk about any of the leadership, any of them, there is in some way, shape, or form that they have had conversations with the kids of the agents, with the family members, with people. That's not part of the corporate culture, right? But that's the amount of value that they're providing. So, all right. So, I think sometimes people think that they're losing themselves or their personalities when they're copying, right? So you just want to be like a little robot, a little clone, you know. And I know people have said it to Terry, and people have said it to me. They're like, so, you know, Andy just uses you as a puppet to just prance you around and everything. And I'm just like, okay. I mean, I don't even know how to, you know, whatever, right? Just like, so how are you doing? You know, because if you ask them about them, you know, they're just going to start talking about themselves. They're going to forget whatever it is they said to you. All right, so, but like, how do you connect with people? Like, in the copying, it is, you want to find as much common ground with them as possible. That's what copying is, right? It's finding as much in common with them.
Okay.
It's like, for example, if you're running appointments, right? I'm going to suggest, strongly suggest, that you don't necessarily put on a bunch of cologne or perfume, or if you smoke, I don't care if you smoke, but you should Febreze yourself, okay, before you walk into a home. Because if you walk into a non-smoker's home smelling like cologne or perfume or smoke or whatever, right, what is that client going to focus on? That smell,
That's right.
you know? And I'm not saying you shouldn't have personality, right? But if you have tattoos, you should cover them up until you meet the person. And if they have tattoos, go ahead and show them, right?
Yeah.
But if they don't, why are you purposely trying to rebel or cause dissension? Like, it's almost like you're doing it on purpose. You know, like, you don't have enough drama in your life or something. Like, you have to create it. You know, that's what Facebook is for, apparently. All right? So you don't need to create it. It's already there, okay? You can still be yourself. And people think things like, well, I have my own personality. And I just, you know, what I think, I don't say I probably said it at one point, but what I think, I can say it in a group though, right? Is, well, our personality, mine included, right, yours included, has gotten us our bank account balance so far. And so if we want a different bank account balance, we gotta change a little something, right? Yeah.
That's good.
So, because but you have different sides of yourself. Your personality is not the same to every single person.
Right.
You are different with your parents, than your kids,
That's
than your
right.
spouse, than your friends, than your whatever. You have all these different sides of your beautiful prism.
Yeah.
All right. So that's your job, is to find it with your client, right? To connect on as many levels as possible with them, right? So here's the dangerous thing about copying all you want, is when we think we are. That is when it is so dangerous. When I think I am doing it the same way that you are. I'm doing this script, I'm doing this in-home, I'm even wearing the clothes, like I'm doing everything. So I'm gonna give you a fun example. All right, so I remember when we first started hanging out, me and James, you know where I'm going, with Andy. I haven't told James any of the stuff I'm saying. And Andy, this was years ago, bear in mind, this was years ago, okay? And we first started talking to Andy, and it was at like some event that was like over the course of 2 or 3 days. And he kept looking at us, and he was like, there's something wrong with you guys. Like those were not the words, but he said there's something off, right? And we were like, okay, what is it? He's like, I don't know. I'm gonna think about it and let you know. We're like, okay, we'll be here. You know, just let us know, right? And he said, like I think later that day or the next day, he was like, I got it. You look like you're 12. And we looked at each other like, okay, and this was years ago, okay? And we said, why? And he said, well, you know, and he looked at James and he said, well, his clothes, right? He had on this like bright red dress shirt. And he was like, it's so bright. And we're like, but that's what you wear on stage, right? And so that's why we thought we were copying what you were wearing. And he looked at us like, oh, bless your little hearts, you know? And he said, I am older trying to look younger, so I wear the bright clothes. You are younger trying to look older, so you should wear, and he said, white cotton dress shirts, right? So James has like 20 white cotton dress shirts in the closet. I think after a couple years passed, and then we got real fancy and got like powder baby blue and powder pink, right? And he looks good in those white shirts. Yep. But you know what I mean? Sometimes the most dangerous thing is when you think you're copying. So how do you know if you're copying wrong? How do you know? You hang around.
Yep.
You associate. That's also how you change your thermostat. That's how you change your blueprint, is because what your brain constantly sees is what the new blueprint is going to be. And if you constantly see, and I'm not saying your family's broke, but if you constantly see that environment of what your family and your neighborhood has been around, then your brain is always going to bring you back there. But if you are associating with people who are at a higher level, income, and everything than you, then your brain's going to start to see that as what your pattern should be. Right? So that's how we're going to change that stuff. But how you change, how you realize you're copying wrong is by hanging around, because it is caught. It is not taught.
All right.
If it could be. Oh, just be great. All right. So, okay. So you can copy. We do want you to copy, but we have to copy the skill and the heart.
Okay.
You have to copy both. You can say the words verbatim, word for word, as what anyone else says, but you could copy what Andy says, what Davey says, what Robert says, but if you don't say it with the right heart, that's when it becomes empty.
All right.
So who thinks that they can tell when someone is being fake, right? I think we all think that we can tell when someone is being fake. So I have a story for you, okay? All right, this is a fun story. All right. So there was I'm going to put my paper down. Okay. So there's this guy who had a horse, and this horse could do math. For real, this is real. This horse could do math. And so he would have a show, and the audience would say, he's like, do a math problem. You know, like lower numbers, right? Because it's a horse. But he said, you know, so the audience would say 1 + 3, and the horse would pound 4 times. And the audience was like, there has to be a trick, there has to be something. And they would try all this different stuff. And the horse would keep getting the answer right. They even had the owner leave because they thought the owner was like giving the horse like signals or something, right? They even had the owner leave and they did math with the horse, and the horse still got the answers right. Okay? So do you guys want to know how the horse was able to do math? Yes? You guys want to know?
Yes.
Yeah. It was an Asian horse. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Dang.
I had to put that in there. All right. I tried it in Wilmington, and they said it was funny, so I was like, I'm going to do it here. All right. So if you're mad or offended, you can reach out to Adam Katz because that's too much, and they said it was okay. All right, but for real, how the horse was able to do it was the horse was actually reading the body language of the audience. And so when he was pounding his hoof, when he got close to the answer, people would gasp. People's eyes would change, people's facial expressions. And so he knew when to stop because of the body language of the audience. Is that not insane?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the way that they knew that is because they tried it without the audience and the horse couldn't do math, right? You know, so it was because of the people. And so this horse can tell what your body language is, right? So that means that if you're not genuine, like you could walk into the most rundown appointment, okay? Like, not the appointment, but, you know, the place could be run down. There could be stuff, you know, like, you know, in your mind, you're like, oh my God, I drove out here and they're probably not gonna have any money, right? All this stuff could go through your brain. But guess what happens if all this stuff goes to your brain? You can slap on a plastic camera smile, you know, and go in there, but you know what those people know? They know you are judging them. That's what they know. And you have someone come to your hotspot, like Tia said, you know, and if we are judging the people who come to our hotspot, guess what they know?
That's right.
They know they are being judged. People are not stupid.
That's right.
And maybe they can't verbalize it, but internally on like a primal, subconscious, Jiminy Cricket way, right? They know that they are not safe because of our body language, right? And so our job is to have the right heart, and in having the right heart, it is finding something that you connect with, that you can love about the other person that you are talking to. Because no matter who they are, no matter how horrible a person you might think they are, right? And I'm sure you're not running into them, you know, but you will be able to find a way to connect to that person because you are finding something genuine that you can connect with them about, that you share, that you love about them, okay? So, and that's the thing, like this is the example that Andy, I feel like, and the leadership have really set for us, which is an example of like service and of finding the good, finding the right. If anyone has ever seen Andy do a hotspot, right? Like there are people that maybe you might have been irritated by, like how come they're talking? How come they're not letting Andy talk? You know, or whatever, right? But Andy is the most giving of his time. And you can always give time, money, or energy, right? And money is actually the easiest thing for Andy to give. But what does he give so much of? His time, his energy. You know, and trust gets built over time. So I think, and I hope I say this story the right way, I don't know about the beginning part of it, but I think someone said to Andy something along the lines of, you're not real. Like, I've never seen you cry. And he, it was a smaller group. It was like maybe 25 or 30 of us. And Andy's sharing this story with us. And he looked around the room and he was like, I think I've cried with every single one of you. Right? Because it's just like, that's the kind of real person he is. You know, and maybe you might not get that in like a room with 100 people hotspot, right? Or on the TWC, but the trust that you get when you hang around and that you keep on being around, that's what's gonna build, right? So I have just one quick funny example, and then we're gonna have Miss Kelly come up, which is the service thing. And this is why Andy to me has the most childlike attitude. You guys been around Andy? He has the most childlike faith and attitude. And I got to be on the first Jet's inaugural flight, like the official flight. And I don't remember who else was on there. I don't remember where we were going. I just know I was there. I really should ask Amber or Missy to look it up because that would be cool to know where we were going. But Andy was just like, Oh my gosh, like if he wasn't in the seat, he would be jumping up and down on his jet. And I'm like, this is a plane, we need to sit, you know? But he was just the most like childlike faith and heart and attitude. And he has been told no more times than any of us. And it is so easy to become bitter and cynical, you know, obviously, right? But he has worked so hard to not become that bitter and cynical person, right? So that childlike faith. And so this is why I appreciate my husband so much, right?
Oh.
So because like in hiring people, and I'm going to tell this story real quickly. So James hired a guy who hired Paul Menachino, and James drove 2 hours to where Paul was going to be, right? They had arranged this meeting point. So James drives the 2 hours there, and Paul and his wife Samantha are not there, right? And so James calls me like, they're not there. I'm like, well, then leave. You know, I'm just like, and so Paul, I guess they talk, and Paul's like, well, we can meet you. It was like another 40 minutes in like the opposite direction or something like that. I was like, don't drive over there, you know? And James like, I'm going to drive over there. I'm like, whatever, you know? And so he drives over there, and he meets Paul and Sam. I think they only met for a couple minutes because he had to go because he had another like interview set up or something. And so they chat for a couple minutes, and then that was it. But I think, so James is following the example that Andy and the leadership have set, right? This like going the extra mile, that childlike faith, you know? And I'm not saying that you do that for every single person because, well, that's me, right? But you know, have discretion. But, and then, so what happens? So Paul hires this Army private sergeant, colonel, something, lieutenant, thank you, in the Army, who hires this guy who basically just gives Paul Menachino his phone and says, here, just, you know, you call through them, right? And Paul is working, he's doing the work part, right? One of the 8 steps. He's calling through, gets to Justin Balick, you know? And he's like, yeah, I'm getting back to you. My name probably doesn't sound familiar, but you know a guy named Brendan. And he's like, no, I don't. And he was like, well, and I think they tried for a minute to figure out how they knew each other. They couldn't. Justin's like, well, what is this for? He's like, well, we're looking for people to make some part-time money. And Justin says, I want to, right? Like he had just graduated University of Miami neuroscience major and realized he doesn't want to do another 8 years of school, right?
Yes.
And so that's how that happened. So James, my dear husband, right? This is National Convention, right? The January conference. He drives from Maryland down to Florida to pick up Justin. Miami, Florida, like the bottom of Florida, right? Not even the top, the bottom of it. And he drives down there and picks him up. They're trying to call the other guy, Brendan, the whole time, doesn't answer the phone. James picks up Justin. We're like, I guess he's not going to be here, so we'll just drive up. And they drive an hour and a half. You know, they're still in Florida because that's how far down south Miami is, right? And the guy finally picks up. So what does James do? He turns around. I was just like, what are you doing? I wasn't there. I drove straight to North Carolina, okay? I don't know what you're doing. And so he turns around, picks him up, and then they drive up. And then what happens after convention? You know how you're tired, right?
Yeah.
Paul drives Justin and them down and recruits the whole way down that they're doing, right? And then comes back to Virginia because, you know, that's where he lives,
right?
Okay? And so last thing, and so Justin, he puts out an ad and meets Jasmine for an office assistant position at a Starbucks inside a Target. We love you, Justin. He picked a Starbucks inside a Target, okay? And so does this job interview and then says, well, I want you to come, like second interview, whatever, see what we do. And it was an hour and a half away, and Jasmine only has 17 cents in her bank account. So she says, no, I don't think I'm going to go. He's like, oh, I'll take you there, right? Because that heart, you know. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, you know, doesn't know him, met him inside a Target, right? And so the cousin, Jasmine's cousin says, you should go. So before Jasmine walks out the door, she grabs a shank,
that's
right? And funny story, Justin had a knife. Did you know that Justin had a knife when he got into the car with you? Because none of us know each other.
Right.
We're not all good friends, okay, at this time. So, but this is the thing, what we're duplicating, what we're copying is the heart.
Yes.
Right? And the heart is showing you the action and the activity, right? And if you say, well, my upline didn't do that for me, well, my upline, oh my God, right? I'm sorry. All because you didn't have a dad, maybe, right? doesn't mean that you can't be a dad to somebody else.
That's right.
Right?
That's right, Jane.
We are adults.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. And it's not because they purposely put you aside. It's just maybe stuff just happens, okay? It's not all about you, all right? I mean, it is about you. I'm sorry. It is all about you, right? Okay, but so we're going to have Miss Kelly come up from BAM. Do you want to say a couple of things, like to introduce her? And okay. So what's crazy is, I mean, I feel like sometimes we don't do things, or we don't, we're afraid to do things because it's new. You know, come on. We're afraid to do things because it's new, you know. But this is the thing. When you first sold insurance, when you first made your first phone call, whether you got a license with us or before, you knew nothing. Right. You stumbled and, you know, messed up and hopefully called us like 12 times while you were still in the home, to the point that we were like, are you still in the same house? You know, like, you need to help them and leave. You know, I have said that to agents, you know. But what's crazy is that we are on a gold mine when it comes to annuities and index universal lives. And the great part is, you don't have to stumble or mutter through any of it, because you have support. That's right. Right? And so we have something called a green sheet, and we should fill it out in every appointment. Yes. Let's say that you are one of those people who filled out one green sheet and sent it over, and it didn't turn into anything. It didn't turn into a sale, and you're mad, and you're like, it doesn't work. And so that's why we don't do the green sheet, right? That is the equivalent of eating a salad one time and being mad you didn't lose 5 pounds. And clearly eating a salad doesn't work. That's the equivalent, right? So we're going to have Kelly share about BAM. Please, Kelly. Miss Kelly.
Good job, Jane. Good job, girl.
Thank you, ladies. So my name is Kelly Hook. I work with Christopher Norris, or Chuck Norris, at Burlington Alliance Capital Management, also known as BAM. The C is silent. It is a thing. Andy told me. I just don't remember the actual other words that the C is silent, but it's true. So for those of you who are sad you're missing Chris Norris, yeah, there you go. Aww. He's actually serving the team with Gina out in Texas right now. So they've been doing a week full of hot spots and boot camps. So they're coming back on Friday, and then in 2 weeks they're actually going back out to Florida. So as we're talking about associating, definitely get near them, talk to them, because we want to make sure we're growing your business. And that's what Chris and Gina are doing right now. They're trying to get your business going to the next level. We don't want you to stay here. We want it to go up. That's right. And the only way we can do that is as a team and having lifelines and tools that Andy has put in place. And BAM is one of those tools. So for those of you asking, what is BAM? Great question. I'm glad you asked, Toby. So BAM, aka the Green Sheets, are here to help you grow your business faster and help your clients in another and not new way, but another way that can help your clients with other assets. So life insurance protects your life. Annuities are going to protect their assets that they've been saving up since they were in their 20s, 30s. I mean, no one wants to outlive their money. So BAM allows that to kind of be a thing. So I wanted to write on the board, so this is going to be my excuse to write on the board.
Right? Go do it.
So good. As you're filling out the green sheet, you're already asking all the questions in the ATM. Okay. Where do you have emergency funds if you need them? Savings, IRAs, annuities. You're already asking all that. The green sheet just allows you to have a professional and what I think pretty looking sheet to fill that out on. So you find out that they have $50,000 in mutual funds. You then find out they have $100,000 with an IRA. So you go ahead and sell them with Mutual of Omaha. Yay, that's good. Super happy. You sold a policy. We want that. We want you to be able to make that first sale, but our job is to help you not only do the life side, but get another policy out of it. Okay. We want you to have more opportunities and not leave money on the table. Okay. So you find that this is what happens with BAM. You're able to move that $100,000 into an annuity. We're going to put $100K. We're going to say American Equity. And you did the choice 10. So that means for 10 years, this 100,000 you just wrote them is going to be in there for 10 years. Suitability reasons, we're not able to combine all of them because the carriers don't want all their liquid assets tied up. But with BAM, you're able to still move it. And we're able to manage those funds. So for 10 years, they're already tied up. So for 10 years, theoretically, we're going to help that money grow. So from 50,000 in 10 years, maybe it grows to 65. So after these 10 years, they now have 65,000. That's an additional $15,000, guys, that we just helped them grow in a matter of 10 years. So that means you now, once this is over, 10 years, guys, that's another 15,000 to add on to this 100,000. Instead of just writing one life policy, you have one life policy, an annuity, and now another annuity. All because you did the long game and not just short-term tunnel vision. This, with BAM, allows you to do that. Without BAM, you would have just done the life, or you would have done the life and one annuity. Now, which one sounds better? One policy, two policy, or three policy? Three. For you, Glen Coco, you get three. We want three. We want to make sure we get the long run in this game. So with BAM, you're already doing the life side. We're now just going to help you get 2 more, 3 more, 4 more in that same house because they have those assets saved up. So I'm going to ask, when you're playing, for those of you who do play, but we're going to say you all, for the sake of this, you all do. If you're playing poker and you push all of your chips in the middle of the table, what does that usually mean? You're all in. You're ready to win. You're tired of doing just halfway. You want to go all for it. So what happens during that game if you push it all in, everyone flips over their cards, and you decide, I'm going to pull these back. Never mind. I was just kidding, y'all. Most likely, depending where you are, you might end up with a bruise or two because they're going to be super upset. They're going to be like, no, this is not a practice round. So if we're not willing to do that in a game, why are we willing to do that with our business? We need to go all in. So you have to ask yourselves, why aren't we going all in? Is there something that's holding us back? So every time there's something that pops up, we tell ourselves, we're committed. We're going to go all the way in. This is the time. But if even the little inconvenience comes up, we kind of, this isn't for me. So we have to ask our own selves, are we really all in? Or are we all in for what's in our comfort zone? BAM wants to make this all in for you in each and every way. Life, annuity, IUL, it does not matter. But we're there. We're that lifeline that's going to take you from going like this to like this. That's our goal. To make you go all in, to help you go on, to be that lifeline. So if you guys are ready, we're ready. Chris and I, we want to help you guys grow. We want to teach you. We don't want to be that one time that we help you write one annuity. We want to make it a constant thing. We want to make this a habit. If you want different results, we have to make different choices. BAM is going to be that different choice if you allow us. Ask us questions. Terry and Tia and James and Jane are great at doing that. I'm not kidding. Just because they're in the office doesn't mean you think that they're not going to come in the office. They're going to come in the office, and I love it. They ask questions. We do have an open door. Lights are off a lot of the time, but it is open. So they ask questions. They will email us. Jane will be like, I think I'm going to do this. I just want to confirm. But she does it. She's not afraid. Terry and Tia, same way. Terry was doing 400,000, which is a great. He was doing 400,000 last year. This year he's doubled. And the year's not over. But why? Because they learned the language. They learned the conversation. They needed us a little bit for the first and second one, but Terry now knows the language that he doesn't have to call us all the time because now he's able to know what's happening and he's teaching his team. His team is now duplicating. They know they have us as a lifeline, but at the end of the day, we're teaching you because in the long run, which one's going to be better? Us telling you how to do it or us showing you how to do it? So I'm going to turn it back over to these beautiful ladies, and they're going to give you a little bit more info on what's happening, what's going on, and I appreciate all of you for taking the time to listen.
Guys, thank y'all so much. Look, once again, if you have not gotten your convention ticket, go to alliancenationalconvention.com. Get your ticket today.
You can do it now.
Yes, right now. We're done.
Yeah.
Andy and Jane, thank y'all so much. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
Love
See
you,
ya.
girl.
All right.